everybody. Yeah, we have attendance here, quite a number. Welcome everybody to this session about Region, the Journal of ERSA. My name is Gunther Maier and I'm the technical director of Region, and I would like to present the journal to you. With us here is also Sébastien Bourdin, who is one of the editors of the journal, and he can then also present something about the review process and things like that. So with that, let me just share my screen here to get to my slides. Okay, you should see my slides now, right? Okay. Yes, well, what is Region? Well, Region is an academic journal, just like any other academic journal. From this perspective, so you name it, Region is one of them. There are a couple of things which are unique about Region. The first one is Region is electronic only, so we do not publish anything in printed form, at least not from the general journal articles. And the most important thing in my view is that Region is real open access, and that means it's free for readers and it's also free for authors. So we do not charge any publication fees or author processing charges or anything like that. And Region is a regional science journal. It's the journal of ERSA, and so it covers everything that we think is regional science, so regional economics, urban economics, and so on and so on. I put here at the bottom of the page, I hope you can see this, the link, the URL of Region. It's very easy to remember. It's region.ersa.org. So when you enter this, you will get to a page like this one. This is actually the start page, the landing page of Region. What are the key characteristics of Region? It tries to have the highest scientific standards. So we use a very strict double-blind peer review system. We try to get and publish good research. Region has a global reach, both for authors and for readers. So we try with our open access approach, we try to support also authors from developing countries. The backbone of the business model of Region is a commitment by ERSA and by VU, the university where I work. We have a really top level editorial board and a young and very motivated editorial team. As far as the technical infrastructure is concerned, we use Open Journal Systems version 3, which is a management software. This is open source software. It's very well supported by the developers and also by a wide community. For document preparation, we use LaTeX, and the publishing formats we use is for every article, we publish a PDF version and an HTML version. We also publish, when this makes sense, computable notebooks, and we publish those in either, well, so far we published them in RMD, that's an R-based document description format, or in Jupyter. Indexing and citations, we use all the major indexing services that we have access to and that we could find. Some of the indexing is indirectly because one indexing service pulls data from another one. And so we use all this open source infrastructure there. And we have the citations checked via Google Scholar, via CrossRef, and Scopus. And there is, what you see here at the bottom, there is a page on our homepage which says indexing and metadata. And there you get to this information. You see all the indexes that we use. And you also find information about the citations. So here you have a link to our Google Scholar page. That page looks like this at the moment. You see that over the years, the number of citations have increased, I would say exponentially. The year 2020, of course, is still growing, still building up. But as it looks now, we'll have another bar which will be higher than the one for 2019. Another citations count that we have is CrossRef. When you click on this, you can actually search for different or check different numbers. So on the left-hand side, you see that in CrossRef, the 96 papers that we have published so far have received 170, or CrossRef has found 170 citations to these papers. And you see that this paper, where's my cursor, this paper down here with 14 citations, the most cited, second cited, and so on. In this tool that we use here, you can then say, well, I only want to know citations in SSCI journals and maybe for the last 2 years. So these are the settings up here. And what you then see is that you get an impact factor in quotes that is about 2.46. So every paper that we published in the last 2 years received almost 2.5 citations in an SSCI journal. So that's, I think, pretty good. The third source for citation numbers that we use is Scopus. As you saw on this previous slide here, for 2018, we got the CITE score of 0.69. For 2019, 1.5. And when you click on the page there, you see that for 2020, we are already at 1.9. So we also expect this number to grow a little further until the end of the year, or actually, yeah, till the end of the year. We also can say a little bit about our readers. When you look up here, so this is from Google Analytics. You see here that over time, the activity on our web page has increased until the Corona months here. And we see that on the one hand, the top countries are really the ones that you expect to see for academic journal. So number one, the US, well, number two, Austria has a lot of administrative access from my side. But you see here the UK, you see Germany, you see the Netherlands, France, and so on. But you also see that number 10 is Brazil. And we also get, if I remember correctly, something like we had something like 800 hits from India and about 500 from China. So we also, and you see down here that that we cover almost all countries in the world, or reach almost all countries in the world. Well, how do you submit to region? There are a couple of things there. The number one advice I think we can give is to make sure that your paper conforms to all the requirements. On the submission page, there's a submission checklist, the author guidelines, the ethics and malpractice. There's an ethics and malpractice statement. So I encourage you to read these carefully, make sure your paper conforms to these requirements. Then when your paper conforms to that, then the first thing you need to do is you need to register as an author on the region homepage, region.ersa.org, and then log in as an author to the region homepage. And down here you find a link which says submissions, and then just click on that and you are on track to submit your paper. On the page that you get, then you will find this submission preparation checklist and the author guidelines and all the other material that I've mentioned. But up here you see a link, make a new submission. When you click on this, and this will bring up a form that you need to fill in, and that then submits your paper. What happens after submission? Well, after submission, the managing editor looks at your paper and assigns it to one of the editors. And this editor then first decides whether or not your paper can be sent to reviewers. Reviewers are the most valuable people for any journal editor, and so we do not want to send papers to reviewers where the reviewers then say, why did you send me this trash? You just need to look to say this is not publishable. So there is a possible step of desk rejection, and you as an author want to avoid your paper being desk rejected. So this is the reason also why it's so important to confirm with all these technical requirements. When your paper passes this step, of course it will, then your paper is sent to reviewers, or reviewers are assigned in the systems. In the system, they review your paper, they submit review reports. You get information from the editor about the reviewing, about the decision that has been made. If it's a decision about revisions, then you revise your paper, you resubmit it, and so on. And this could be 1 or 2 or 3 rounds. Then comes the point when hopefully your paper is accepted, or rejection is the other option here. In this case, then the paper is sent to the copy editor, and we have some native English speakers as copy editors, and the copy editor then goes through your paper from a language point of view and suggests improvements to the language. You will then get, when you submitted a Word document, you will get a Word document with the suggestions by the copy editor about improvements of the language. When this is sorted out, then your paper goes to the layout editor, and the layout editor converts your text to LaTeX, and then you get the final step is proofreading. You then get the first version of the final paper for proofreading. You proofread this, you say, oh, this and this and this has to be changed, or you say everything's fine, and then the next step is publication. We have a policy of immediate publication, so there is no waiting for the issue to be complete or to be filled, or even also for special issues, we publish immediately. Well, before I come to this point, let me just say one word which I forgot to put onto the slides. As far as the rights on your paper is concerned, we use a Creative Commons licensing system, which means that you keep the copyright of your paper. All you do as an author is you grant the journal the right to put your paper onto the journal homepage, and also the right to all the readers to use your paper and the material in your paper for non-commercial purposes with proper attribution. So everyone who says this is the paper, or this is from the paper by ABC, can use this material. So there is no need to get permission for using the material in some other way if you want to do it yourself. Well, what are some of the important criteria for acceptance? The final decision is always made by the reviewers and by the editor. So that's important to know. But there are, of course, a couple of suggestions we can make. First of all, I mentioned it before, conform to the requirements. Second point, make the paper technically as good as possible. That means label all the axes in the figures that you have. Explain all the figures and tables in the text of your paper. If English is not your native language, think about investing in language editing or proofreading by someone who knows how to do this. And of course, report good research. What does good research mean? Here's a quote from RAND Standards for High Quality Research and Analysis. And I think this is a really good one. And it says that good research has a clear and clearly stated research question. This is one of the most violated criteria. Make sure that from the very beginning, the reader, the editor, the reviewers know what you're talking about, why you're talking about this, what the question is that your research wants to answer. Then focus on answering this research question. Don't talk about it, around it. Focus on the research question. Use the best available sources that you have. Utilize the relevant literature and the existing research. So tie your research into the existing literature. Of course, every research has limitations, shortcomings, and weaknesses. Make sure you acknowledge them. It's much better you point them out than the reviewers point to the weaknesses of your research. And make all the assumptions and value judgments explicit. So, this was my presentation. I think I was pretty good in time. And I open it up for questions, but maybe Sébastien, do you want to add anything?
No, it was very clear. So yeah, you did very well.
Thank you. Okay, so I stop my presentation here and invite you to ask questions in the chat, please. I open up the chat. There must be questions.
Yes.
Yes. Well, the question is this a journal more suited for quantitative research? Well, yes and no. We publish good research in regional science. We try to represent the broad scope of regional science. From the technical point of view, since we use LaTeX, we can make quantitative research and equations and these things quite well, good looking. But we have no bias really one way or the other. So we really try to cover the broad range. Let me make sure that. How long does it take in general from submission to publication? Well, that depends on the reviewers, and it depends on the author. So typically the most time is spent in the response of the author to revision requests. We try to push our reviewers. It does not always work, unfortunately, but typically we give them 1 month to respond. And then there is a revision process. Once the decision has been made, then it typically takes a week for the copy editor and then a week for the layout editor. So we are very, very fast in the step after the decision, but the parts before that are kind of out of our control.
A question about the future issues. So there is currently an issue about space and health. So due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we ask question about how do epidemics spread through space? What is the regional dimension of healthcare systems? How do patients and healthcare providers match in space? The question of urban and rural differences concerning the impact of COVID-19. So we have questions about that, and the next issue will be on this topic, space and health.
Yes, so that's the special issue that we have planned. I think I tried to answer this question here about how much time it needs until the first decision. So from a month to month and a half to 2 months, approximately. What is the rejection rate at this time? Well, I can tell you, since I looked at the numbers recently, that we had 225 submissions so far, and we published 96 articles. Among them are editorials that, usually are not rejected. But you see the rejection rate is probably something about 60%. But this includes also desk rejections. So this is all the submissions. No, are there any strict or informal deadlines, periods for submission? No, we continuously accept submissions, and we continuously start this process. So whenever a paper is here, it goes to the it directly goes to the managing editor. The managing editor then within, depending whether he is on vacation or not, but typically within a day or two sends it to an editor, and then it gets sent out to the reviewers. So that happens constantly, and also our publishing happens constantly. And when you look at our homepage, you always see the current issue building up with the papers, and once we at a certain time, then we close this issue and start the next one with the next paper.
is there any call for papers for developing countries? So not yet. If you have a proposal, you can propose to the editorial team, for example, a call for paper for developing countries. The idea and what is central here is to have a regional science dimension, so clearly. And if you have a paper on developing countries linking with regional science, you can submit it without a call for paper. So
yes, and well, we had a couple of, I think two, if I remember correctly, we had two special issues on developing countries, 2 or 3. When you look at our homepage, you find these special issues, and yeah, maybe let me mention here as well that how we handle the special issues. So when a paper for a special issue is ready for publication, we publish it as a regular paper, and when all the papers for the special issue have been published in the journal, then we collect it together and we put it out as a special issue. These special issues we also publish in printed form via a print-on-demand service, and distributed globally via Amazon and other such electronic bookstores. So you can find this also on our homepage, and or search on your Amazon for region. You'll find our special issues there. Are there any more questions? Well, you can always reach us on via email. Our emails are on the web page, or during the rest of the day in the interaction parts that we have.
do not hesitate.
Yes, do not hesitate. Don't be shy. Ask us questions. That's the principle that we try to implement, to be as open as possible and to be as favorable for authors as possible. That's why we publish open access without, and that's important to say because many people say open access and then they charge you a lot of money. We say open access means, in our case, no financial contribution by the author. So you don't have to come up with money. You don't have to talk your university into doing this. This is covered by ERSA, and we support this insofar as we keep the out-of-pocket costs of the operation very, very low. And that's also the reason why we use a Creative Commons license, so that all the rights remain with the authors as far as possible. So your work really gets a very wide circulation, and when you look at the citations in CrossRef, you also can see in which journals these our articles, or the articles we published, are cited, and you see that it gets around pretty widely. So we have science there, for example, and sustainability is a pretty strong citer of our work. So it goes way beyond regional science. So we have a pretty good coverage there, I think. Okay, well, I think we are about to reach the end.
Perfectly on time.
Yeah.